While all of this was taking place, Jesus was growing up in Egypt with his mother Mary, Joseph, and his pup. All this time the puppy was also growing up and was no longer just a pup. He followed Jesus everywhere, and they were the best of friends. One day, after Jesus was old enough to speak, he asked his mom, "Why do we call the dog Pup? For she is no longer a puppy, and should have a better name." Mary said, "She is your dog, son. You can name her whatever you like." That day, Jesus gave the dog a name, and from that time forward, she was called Faith. Faith continued to grow and get stronger, and as the years passed, her and Jesus were as one. Wherever Jesus was, so was Faith. One day, Jesus and Faith were walking alone towards an oasis where Jesus knew they could get a drink of water. As they approached the cool pool of water, Faith sensed something was wrong. She didn't know what it was, but the hair on her back was standing on end, and she knew there was something evil nearby. Jesus did not notice Faith was agitated and continues to walk towards the water, because it was very hot, and he was really thirsty. When he bent down to take a drink, Faith dove at him and pushed Jesus into the water. There, in the tall grass where Jesus was ready to bend over and drink, was a poisonous viper ready to strike. After Faith pushed Jesus out of the way, she turned to defend him against the viper. But she was no match for the speed of its strike, and the snake bit her in the neck. This did not stop Faith from trying to protect Jesus, and all she could think about is, "I have to kill this snake so that it does not bite my master." She could already feel the burning of the poison pumping through her veins, but she lunged again at the snake and grabbed it from behind and started to shake it furiously until finally it was dead. The battle with the snake just made the poison pump faster through her body, and she knew once it reached her heart, she would die. Faith fell to the ground, and with her body starting to twitch, she looked up at Jesus, who was just picking himself up in the water. But she could not move. She was now paralyzed from the poison of the snake bite. All she could do is peer at Jesus with her big brown eyes, and wondered if this is what God meant for me to do. Is this how I was to protect Jesus? She thought, there is so much more I need to do. We are both so young, and surely he will need my protection again. Who will protect him when I'm gone? She could hardly keep her eyes open by this time. Jesus reached her side, and once he saw the dead snake, he realized what had happened. Jesus was young, but he understood that a snake bite from this particular snake meant death for his companion. And as he reached down and pulled Faith's motionless body into his, he began to cry. Faith could feel the beating of Jesus' heart, and at the same time felt her own heart beat slowing down. The burning sensation that once rushed through her body has all but passed, and now has been replaced with a strange calmness. Faith tried to hold on, but felt herself slipping into a sleep. She thought, "At least I will go in my Master's arms." Jesus continues to cry and hugged Faith, saying, "Thank you, my good friend, for saving my life. But why do you have to leave me? You and I are like one, and I don't know how I will live my life, without you by my side." You need to understand that this stage of Jesus' life, he did not yet fully understand what his true calling was. While he already had a relationship with God, his Father, God was taking it slow and nurturing Jesus until he was of an age to more fully understand his role in this world. Jesus just sat there with Faith, holding her and crying. He started praying to God that she might be spared. God the Father seen his only son's pain and was touched, remembering back to when he created dog and gave him to Adam when Adam was sad after being kicked out of the garden. He said to Adam, "Dog will be a reflection of my love for you, so that you will know I love you, even when you cannot see me." Regardless of how selfish and childish and unlovable you may be, this new companion will accept you as you are, and will love you as I do, in spite of yourself. Because I have created this new animal to be a reflection of my love for you, his name will be a reflection of my own name, and you will call him Dog, because God created Dog especially for man, with traits that can only be found in God and Dog. He has always held Dog as being his most perfect creation. Because he saw how much Jesus loved Faith, God decided that day that Faith would accompany Jesus, his son, on his journey of life while on earth. He said, "I command the poison of the snake to leave Faith's body and replace it with life. For as long as my son walks earth as man, so shall his dog." At that very moment, Faith gave a loud gasp of air, which Jesus thought must be her last, but was in reality the breath of his Father giving Faith back to Jesus. Faith stood up, shook off, and started to kiss Jesus' face nonstop. The two did not understand how this could be, but both were so happy they gave thanks to God in prayer. Jesus never spoke of this to anyone, including Mary and Joseph, and from this time forward it was their secret.